Imagine a crowd roaring with energy, the sun beating down on thousands of runners as their feet pound against the concrete, sweat dripping, determination blazing in their eyes, each one chasing victory, personal pride, or simply the dream of finishing the grueling marathon. But in the middle of this spectacle is a young boy, a poor black teen named Malik, whose story isn't about winning medals or crossing first but about the single act of courage that will change his life forever. Though at this very moment he has no idea how fate is about to twist his path. And before I take you into that journey, let me tell you, you'll want to stay with me until the end because the way the story unfolds will leave you inspired, emotional, and ready to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss stories like this again. Now picture Malik, 17 years old, tall but lanky, his running shoes not the fancy brands most marathoners wear but a worn-out pair he bought second-hand at a thrift shop, the sole almost peeling, laces frayed, but to him they are enough because he isn't here to compete. He isn't even officially registered, he's simply running alongside the crowd, using the race as a chance to escape his troubles for a few hours. Running is his therapy, his way of silencing the noise of poverty, the ache of an empty fridge back home, and the heavy burden of watching his single mother work 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. Malik's neighborhood is one where dreams often die before they are born, where kids his age are pulled into gangs, drugs, and crime. But Malik has always resisted, telling himself that no matter how hard life gets, he will never let the streets define him. He believes deep inside that he was meant for something bigger, though he doesn't yet know what. The marathon winds through the city, with cheering crowds lining both sides, colorful banners waving, volunteers handing out water cups, and Malik runs with a rhythm, feeling the burn in his calves, the thump of his heart, the sharp intake of air. Until suddenly, just ahead of him, he notices something unusual. A girl, maybe 16 or 17, blonde hair tied in a ponytail, her face paled, her steps uneven. At first he thinks she's just tired like many runners, but within seconds her legs buckle and she collapses to the ground. The crowd gasps, a couple of people scream, and runners swerve around her, too focused on the race to stop. But Malik's instincts kick in immediately. Without thinking, he rushes forward, skidding to his knees beside her. "Hey, are you okay?" he shouts, panic rising in his chest. Her eyes flutter, unfocused, and he realizes she's on the edge of fainting, her lips dry, skin clammy. She whispers something too faint to understand. Malik looks around desperately for help. "Medic, somebody call a medic," he yells. But the noise of the marathon drowns his voice. Volunteers are busy, and the nearest medical tent is hundreds of yards away. Time is ticking. Malik remembers his mom always telling him, "Son, if you see someone in need, you don't wait for someone else to help, you be the one." So he lifts the girl gently, supporting her head, and grabs a bottle of water from a discarded table nearby. Tearing it open with his teeth, he tips it carefully to her lips. "Drink. Just a sip. Come on," he urges. Her throat moves as she swallows a little, coughing weakly, and he fans her face with his hand, trying to cool her down. She's breathing shallow, heat exhaustion, maybe dehydration. Malik knows he can't just sit here, he has to get her to safety. So ignoring the ache in his arms, he scoops her up in a fireman's carry. Though she's not heavy, the effort is immense for his tired body, but adrenaline pushes him. He staggers toward the nearest first aid tent, people staring, whispering, some even pulling out phones to record. But Malik doesn't care. He's focused only on saving this girl. When he finally reaches the tent, medics rush forward, taking her from his arms, laying her on a stretcher, placing an oxygen mask over her mouth. Malik stands there, sweat dripping, chest heaving, his shirt soaked, watching as they work on her, his heart racing with fear. "Is she gonna be okay?" he asks one of the medics breathlessly. The man nods. "You got her here just in time, kid. You might have saved her life." Those words hit Malik harder than any finish line ever could. Relief floods through him. He wipes his forehead with the back of his hand, and suddenly he feels a mixture of pride and disbelief. He, a nobody, a poor boy from the forgotten part of the city, just saved someone's life. The girl is wheeled into an ambulance, still unconscious but stable. Malik watches silently, a strange sense of connection tugging at his heart. He doesn't know her name, doesn't know who she is, but he feels like he was meant to be there in that moment. And as the ambulance doors close, he whispers, "Please be okay," before turning to walk away, blending back into the crowd, thinking that maybe that's the end of it. Little does he know, it's only the beginning of a story far bigger than he can imagine, because the girl he just saved isn't just any runner. She is the daughter of one of the wealthiest billionaires in the country, a man whose influence touches everything from business to politics, and whose love for his daughter knows no bounds. When he learns about the boy who saved her, his world and Malik's world will collide in ways neither could predict. But for now, Malik simply returns home, tired, his body aching, but his soul strangely light, not knowing that his life is about to change forever. And as we close this first chapter, let me remind you, this is just the start of something extraordinary. So if Malik's courage touched your heart, make sure you hit that like button, share this story with someone who needs hope, and subscribe so you won't miss the next part, because trust me, you don't want the city doesn't sleep when news spreads of a billionaire's daughter collapsing during the marathon. Headlines flash across every local station, social media buzzes with shaky phone videos of a skinny black teen lifting her into his arms and racing toward the medics. Hashtags explode, people calling him a hero without even knowing his name. But while the internet spins wild theories, Malik himself has no idea that he's become a silent sensation. He's back in his small apartment, sitting at a table missing one leg, eating a bowl of instant noodles with his little sister, thinking only about whether the girl survived, his heart restless. But somewhere across town, in a mansion guarded by gates taller than most houses, a storm brews, because William Harrington, billionaire investor and one of the most powerful men in America, has just been informed that his only daughter, Emily, collapsed mid-race. His heart nearly stopped when he got the call, but when his private doctor reassures him she's stable, recovering, and that a boy saved her life, his emotions twist from fear into gratitude, desperation into determination. He slams his fist on his mahogany desk. "Find that boy," he commands his assistant, his voice trembling. "I want to know who he is, where he lives, everything." Because for William, money has always been a shield, a tool, a weapon. But this time, money alone didn't save his daughter. It was a stranger, a poor kid who risked everything without hesitation, and William knows he owes him more than he can ever repay. Meanwhile, Emily wakes in a hospital bed, the sterile smell of antiseptic in the air, sunlight filtering through the curtains, her throat dry, her body weak, but her first words aren't about herself. She croaks softly, "The boy, a broken bar, where is the boy?" The nurse smiles, "He carried you to us, sweetheart, he saved you, you're safe now thanks to him." And Emily's heart fills with something she can't quite explain, gratitude, curiosity, a connection to someone she's never met, and she vows silently that she'll see him again. Days pass, Malik returns to school, blending back into his routine, though whispers circle in the hallways. Kids showing him videos on their phones. "Is that you?" they ask, amazed. Malik shrugs it off, embarrassed, not wanting the spotlight. But destiny doesn't let heroes hide for long. One afternoon, as Malik is leaving school, a line of sleek black cars pulls up, tinted windows, bodyguards stepping out in suits. The whole street falls silent, and from the middle car emerges a tall man with silver hair, sharp suit, and a presence so commanding the air itself feels heavier. William Harrington himself, eyes scanning the crowd until they land on Malik. He walks straight toward him, people gasping, pulling out phones, and Malik, confused, clutches his backpack straps tighter. "You're Malik, aren't you?" William asks, his voice deep, steady. Malik nods slowly. "Yes, sir." William's eyes soften. "You saved my daughter's life." Malik shuffles, unsure how to respond. "I just a broken bar did what anyone would." William shakes his head. "No, son, not anyone. Most people kept running. You stopped. You carried her. You gave her a chance to live, and for that, I owe you everything." And right there, in front of dozens of onlookers, This billionaire extends his hand to a boy who has nothing, and Malik, peasant, reaches out, shaking it, feeling a weight shift in his world. "Come with me," William says, "I'd like you to meet her." The car ride feels so miss what happens next.